I really like Minecraft. And I have liked it for a while now. I'm talking all the way back to Minecraft Pocket Edition Lite, when I was like 10 years old and definitely shouldn't have been exposing myself to so much blue light. Oh my god. Minecraft has always been this weird constant in my constantly changing life, and in many ways, I feel as though it's grown up with me. And just like I would miss parts of my childhood, I miss a lot of the old aspects of classic Minecraft, so I thought I'd compile a little list of things to ramble on about, because, I don't know, I want to. And this channel is just full of me dragging you all along for my interests, so what's one more? To really set the vibe, we're starting at the very beginning, Minecraft Pocket Edition Lite. Now, I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but this was like Pocket Edition, but cut off the end, stuff it in a microwave, and then they exploded or something. I don't know. Pocket Edition Lite was like if Minecraft wasn't even Minecraft at all. And I mean this literally because you did not mine nor craft in this game. You heard me. There was no such thing as a crafting table, and while you could technically mine, you didn't really need to when you were given a set of unlimited items right off the bat. You're just given everything you need and dropped in the middle of this admittedly very tiny world, and in hindsight, this is actually set up for the world's most boring game ever. But as a kid, it was everything. An open world game with no rules, no goals, just survival? I was hooked. While this version was very scuffed, it is to me the picture of Minecraft nostalgia. We're talking the vibrant, saturated colors mixed with the eerie fog of tiny render distances, looming figures in the distance that you couldn't see, promising you of the vast world you have yet to explore. My brother and I went in completely blind when we made our first world, and I think that was the perfect way to do it. I remember spawning in on this little hill in the middle of a forest and immediately being ditched by my brother to explore it a bit. In the daytime, it was exciting. I was punching trees and running around the hills and being an overall menace to the local wildlife. Yeah, you know how it is. But the day cycles were incredibly short, and before I knew it, it was nighttime. If you think Minecraft is eerie during the daytime with all the vibes of hazy, liminal spaces, imagine it with the lights off. Exploring in the dark is a whole different vibe on Minecraft. I don't know how a game that can be so simple and peaceful in the day can become a whole nightmare when the sun sets, but it is. Especially when I didn't even know I had enemies I should be worrying about. Just imagine your silly little game of frolicking and occasional deforestation suddenly becomes an apocalyptic survival game overnight. Before I knew it, I was face to face with my very first zombie and inevitably tasted death for the very first time. It would not be the last. We learned pretty quickly, though, and ended up traveling all the way to the edge of the world in pursuit of the perfect place to build our new home. We became simple farm people, setting up an oak house with a little coop for chickens that we painstakingly shoved across the map all the way there. Hold on, I'll draw out a little recreation of the map from memory just so you guys can see the layout. Alright, the main house was just a simple wood building cause, again, free iPad Minecraft guys, cut us some slack. Right on the side was our coop of chickens and the rest of our backyard was the ocean since we settled our house right next to the hill. And oh, what's this little thing up here? Well, I'm so glad you asked! This was the holiest of spots in the world, the bench. Shut up, Dream SCP fans, I did it first. Like I said, my brother and I had settled at the very edge of the world, and by the edge, I mean literally right up against the far wall where the sun would rise right in front of us. We did this completely on accident, by the way, so imagine our surprise when we're just minding our own business, feeding chickens, when the literal sun bursts through the ground right next to us and rises into the sky. Naturally, I decided we needed to make an event for this every morning, so I built this little wood staircase up to a 2-block platform, just so that every time the sun would rise, we could both rush off onto the bench and watch it go up. Not gonna lie, even though it was a bunch of orange pixels, that thing was beautiful. And it still is. Wow, that's nice. Honestly, why do I even go outside? I actually got curious as to what Pocket Edition Minecraft looks like now, so here's a little footage of me running around in it. Honestly, while this version has nothing on the PC or Xbox versions, it's still miles ahead of Pocket Edition Lite. Still, I kinda miss the vibe of the old iPad versions, I don't know. Something about not having much to explore forces you to focus on the little area you have and to make the most of the space you're given. As you grow and build, you become familiar with the little map like you would your own neighborhood or something. Here's a little build I made while messing around. It's kind of a mockery of our old base, but hey, I never claimed to be a builder. Also, hi, added in Cloud here to say that the reason you don't see a full picture of the build is because it has 3 doors, and I still somehow let in a mob that then beat me to death in my own humble abode, so, somehow I'm still as shit at this game as I was 10 years ago. Unsurprisingly, the bench world wasn't our only world in Pocket Edition Lite, because me and my brother spent ages on this version. One of the other worlds I remember pretty vividly was actually one that should not have existed. Why is that? Well, 2 words. Naturally generated. This is 4 words, literally. One of the other worlds I remember vividly was actually one that should not have existed. And why is that? 4 words. Naturally generated floating island. This sounded a lot cooler in my head. I remember we were exploring a new world one day and came across this giant floating island above us. Even at the time, I was pretty sure those weren't supposed to exist, so obviously we had to conquer it. We set up this little dirt shack underneath it to gather supplies to scale it. So my brother goes into the shack while I'm collecting dirt, and then out of nowhere he just appears right next to me. He says he crashed, and that's weird, but not out of the ordinary. I mean, it's Pocket Edition Lite, this thing was riddled with bugs. But when we looked back into the shack, there was this ominous figure just standing there, shuffling through our chest. Now, do we all remember Herobrine? Whoa, a lot of you just woke up. Hi, hello, welcome back to consciousness. My siblings and I were convinced that he was real and that he was lurking in our world somewhere, just waiting to jump out of the screen and possess our bodies or something. So naturally, seeing this mysterious Steve-like figure standing in our house, we came to the conclusion that this was Herobrine. And like the brave soldiers we were, we went in, swords swinging and blood blazing and not even making a dent because this wasn't even a person. It was literally a glitched out version of my brother from before he crashed. So, turns out Giant Floating Island was actually Giant Floating Bug that caused more giant not so floating bugs, such as making anyone who opened a chest underneath it glitch out and crash. They just happened to leave behind this ghost version of them just standing there in front of the chest. This very quickly went from an absolutely terrifying mission to the very funniest thing on planet Earth because my brother and I could not stop recreating it. We literally spent hours doing it over and over again for no reason. Again, very easily amused children. But honestly, it was the simple stuff that made Minecraft so fun. Just running around, doing stupid shit, dying over the worst reasons, all that. As we grew up, Minecraft grew more complex too, and I appreciate that as much as I miss how easy it was to keep ourselves so entertained by just opening a chest over and over again. But maybe the iPad editions weren't the best versions we played. Yeah, nostalgia, yada yada, but even I can admit everything changed when we upgraded to Minecraft for the Xbox 360. It was like this huge event when we first got it. The whole family gathered around the TV to see us start our very first world, so naturally I immediately hit a wolf upon spawning and died. Yeah, nothing about this video has painted me as the brightest child of our age. We eventually got 3 remotes to start a series of our favorite worlds. All I remember was spending hours and hours exploring the Xbox version, being absolutely enamored by how much bigger Minecraft was than we imagined. And we already thought it was huge. The more we played, the more complex we made our builds, the more pranks, the more redstone amusement parks, the more wars and petty arguments and dogs. One of our favorite worlds was literally named Amusement Park, but spelled terribly, and it's an amusement park, guys, it's in the name. Picture this: roller coasters spanning blocks and blocks of forests, haunted houses, games and prizes, and large random animal structures because we can. Yes! This was peak. I have Minecraft, so I'm gonna derail the video a bit again just to recreate one of my greatest creations on this world, the pig. The build was just this giant pig structure situated right by the river, and you could walk into its mouth, through its stomach, and out the ass. That's right, you got an entire experience of being eaten, digested, and shitted out by this Minecraft pig, all for free. I was an architectural genius of my time, oh my god. But yes, that's what I'm recreating here. It honestly wasn't so hard after I got the resources from the reputable sources and hard work, of course. I got this all by myself, but definitely not through godlike powers. Guys, just a little mining off screen. And there, yes, the pig! I have no idea why my child mind got the prompt amusement park and immediately decided we needed the interactive experience of being eaten by a pig, but here it is! I gotta say, this build was up there on the things I miss. I mean, it's kind of a shitty build, but this general world was amazing. So much creativity and time was put into it by my siblings. We would spend hours creating elaborate builds, going all, don't look at my side of the screen, and then most definitely looking at each other's sides of the screen, just to surprise each other with a new roller coaster or haunted house. And not just the builds, there was just, in general, so much to explore, even on the simpler version of Minecraft back then. The pure awe I felt when first walking to the Nether was different. And don't get me wrong, I'm still absolutely freaking in love with the Nether. It has to be one of the parts of Minecraft that will never stop being endlessly terrifying and interesting at the same time. Some things just don't change. But a lot of other things did. I can look at this pig and tell you confidently it's my best recreation of what I remember, and it still isn't even close to what I made back then. I imagine I'm missing a ton of little intricacies and imperfections that my original build had, or maybe I'm not in the exact position where I originally built it, or maybe, let's just say in some ideal world I got the exact seed, built it in the exact spot, and built it exactly as I had almost 10 years ago now. It still wouldn't look right to me, because how I remember it now is no longer how it actually was. There is just no way to get it right. There's no way to properly recreate a memory despite all of my efforts this entire video. And that's kind of sad. In a way, it's like my own brain is telling me that those days are effectively over. Back then, we never really went to the end. I asked my brother just now if we did, and he responded verbatim, nah, we weren't built like that, which is which is fair. But I think there's a part of me that just didn't want to go to the end before. I mean, it's in the name, the end. I didn't want the game to end. I didn't want any of it to end. But like, it did. One day, even though we didn't know it then, we logged onto those worlds for the very last time. The clocks kept ticking, we kept moving, and before we knew it, it was over. We were there. The end. If you've genuinely watched this far into the video, thank you. I know this is a little bit different than my usual stuff, both visually and tonally, but I appreciate you giving it a chance. This may have taken me way too long to make, as in this was meant to come out in January and now it's March. But it was really nice to look back on all these fond memories like this. I'm at the point in my life where I'm genuinely excited to see what happens next, and that's huge, so I guess this video is actually a celebration of that. And hey, maybe I'll finally play Minecraft again the way it was intended. I just want to play the game to actually play it, which I haven't done in a really long time. If that's something you guys would be interested in seeing me, like, I don't know, play, document into a video, or like even stream, let me know. As always, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to see more of me ranting about my interests, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!